Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Nerf Modulus Stryfe. This is one of the 3 blasters from my Black Friday haul. I did a video on that. I'll have that linked at the end of the video, as well as in the description below. So this blaster, according to the Nerf Wiki, originally came out in 2017, though the box says 2016, and it currently retails for $33.99 USD. But I bought this on Black Friday for $22.49 USD. The packaging is very simple, very basic. This is what you'll be getting. Not a lot of information on it, other than the battery requirements of 4 AA's and the recommended age of ages 8+. And on the back here, we have our content list. Includes blaster, drop grip, barrel extension, dart clip, magazine, and 6 darts, and instructions. So overall, very simple packaging. So without further ado, let's get this thing out of the box and see what's inside. Alright, so here we have the Modulus Stryfe out of the box. Let's start, as usual, with our instructions. You have this very simple set of instructions here. Here are our darts. These are the Modulus Nerf Elite darts, which are white and orange. You get 6 of these. We have our 6-round magazine here. Very simple Nerf Elite magazine. We have our drop grip. It's really just a standard foregrip. And our short little barrel extension. And then we have the Stryfe itself. So the Modulus Stryfe is pretty much the same as the original Stryfe, as well as a lot of the other semi-automatic flywheel blasters. You have your rev trigger here and your main trigger to push the darts into the flywheel. You also have your magazine release here. Very simple. We have our jam door up top. We have 2 rails, one on top of the blaster and one on the bottom. We also have a barrel extension lug up front, which we can install our barrel extensions. And a stock attach point, though this blaster doesn't come with a stock. I do have a retaliator stock that I always use. Fits on the blaster pretty well, and it seems to be quite secure. So while messing around with this thing off camera, I did find a little bit of an issue. So the top rail, there's no problem, right? I can attach a scope to this thing, you know, locks in place, doesn't go anywhere, right? No problem here. The problem's with the one underneath the barrel, and that is because this will never lock. It can just sit on there, but not actually lock into the little groove here. It can't actually lock there, and so that kind of just makes the grip really flimsy and doesn't stick on there. And it's not even just the drop grip; it's also does it with every accessory, including this retaliator grip. Just kind of pops off. From what I'm seeing, it's just because this little thing here, I don't really know what to call that thing, I'm calling it a tab, is too far forward. If it was back a little bit, just slightly back a little bit, it would work just fine. Gonna let y'all know that. That's just something to keep in mind, and I'm a little bit disappointed that the rail, bottom rail, doesn't work, as it is a feature of the blaster and it should work, you know, especially because this is the Modulus blaster, which was the whole gimmick of that, was these accessories. So nothing we can really do about it. I mean, unless I take like a, you know, some sandpaper or Dremel in there and cut that back a little bit, but that requires modification by the customer, so there is issues there. We won't be using this for the rest of the review. I do like to use all the accessories during the reviews in the configuration that Hasbro sold it as, but I can't use the front grip at all. Let's just hope it can use the different magazines. Kind of a spoiler alert, I already know that this blaster is compatible with pretty much every magazine. Heck, it can even use the magazine adapters, the half-length magazine adapters that Dart Zone manufactures. But just to show everybody, have a Dart Zone 12 round, fits fine, no issues here. We have a Dart Zone Pro 15 round. No problems here. The infamous 18 round with the little lump on it. Perfectly fine. 25 round drum. Works perfect as expected. Compatible with every magazine as the original Stryfe was. That's pretty cool. Let's get some batteries loaded up. It's off camera. It's off camera. But yeah, let's get some batteries in this thing and see if it works. Hopefully we don't get another Stryfe X incident. So here's our battery door. We have our screwdriver here, and we're going to be installing the batteries. I might need a bigger screwdriver actually. Let's take the door off. I'm going to be using Kirkland's Signature AA's. Just for context, if anybody needs to know what I use, insert into the blaster like so. Alright, let's see if this revs. Okay. Let's load the magazine up. Nerf Elite. Okay, seems to work fine. Does have the jam door lock, as well as the magazine locked as well. Not much else to say, so let's get this thing down on the range and see how it fares. Alright, so here we are at the range. We're going to be starting off with our distance test. As usual, for context, the chicken marks 25 feet, the swan marks 35 feet, the frog marks 40 feet, and the far back wall marks 50 feet from where I'm standing. We're going to start off with Nerf Elite, and we're going to be firing 10 shots of each dart today. So let's see how this fares. Oh, we had a jam. Let's try that again. I'm going to rapid fire these. All right, next we have Adventure Force. My old Stryfe struggled to use this dart, so we'll see how it fares. Okay, rapid fire. And lastly, we have Dart Zone. All right, not really surprising results here. Pretty much what I expect from these motorized flywheel blasters. Fully charged shots around the 35-foot mark and rapid fire around the 30-foot mark or before. When it comes to consistency of distance, I feel like Dart Zone and Adventure Force were probably the best. Nerf, yeah, we had a couple going beyond the 35-foot mark, almost the 40-foot mark, but looking at the field right here, there's quite a few that didn't make it to the 30-foot mark and landed at the 25-foot mark. Yeah, this is just my test with my darts, so you could have different results. So that'll be the end of the distance test. So let's move on to the accuracy test. All right, so here we are at the accuracy test. As you can see, we have our targets set up over there. We're going to be starting off with Nerf Elite, and we're going to be doing something a little different, something I didn't do in the distance test, and that was test the blaster without the barrel. We're going to start off by firing 5 shots with the barrel and then 5 shots without the barrel, just to see if there's any accuracy differences. By the way, that is your sight picture. All right, so let's see if we can hit anything. Not what I was aiming at. Yes, I overshot. I shot 6. Let me just load one more. All right, so we're gonna try it without the barrel. Or out. I feel like there is a slight difference. It kind of feels like without the barrel, they kind of go downward more. And then with the barrel, they just kind of are more, I guess, more erratic. We'll see how it affects the other darts. So we're gonna move on to Adventure Force. Start off with the barrel. We're gonna try without the barrel. Adventure Force doesn't seem to have that big of an effect. The barrel doesn't seem to affect it that much. Just similar to Nerf, I kind of felt like I had to aim up, like slightly without the barrel. So I guess the barrel is helping it kind of straighten out a little bit. Lastly, Dart Zone. This is with the barrel. Don't have that many targets left. Move on to without the barrel. So we're done. Results are actually a little bit different than I was expecting. So firstly, what I noticed with the barrel on is the darts do have a knack of kind of flying left on more on the left and right. With it off, I kind of feel like I have to aim the blaster slightly upward, because if I fire it straight, they kind of just arc down. So that's just interesting. So the barrel fixes the up and down, but ruins the left and right. Very interesting results here. Have a couple of other thoughts to talk about this blaster. So let's head back to the table and give you my final thoughts. All right, here we are back at the table. And let's go over my final thoughts on the Modulus Stryfe. The Stryfe is an overall very comfortable blaster to shoot, very comfortable blaster to hold. It just has really good ergonomics in my opinion. Placement of the rev trigger is in a very natural place. If you grip it normally, it revs the blaster. It doesn't feel like you have to press down really hard like some of the other motorized flywheel blasters I've reviewed. And it just feels so natural and so comfortable. The main trigger is a little bit squishy, but you do get used to it, and it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. The magazine release is in a very convenient spot where you can easily remove magazines. You can even use one of the fingers on your grip hand to drop magazines out real easily. I also really like the customization options you have with the Stryfe. It has a stock attachment point, barrel attachment point, and 2 rails. You can put a scope or a bipod on it. You have a lot of options there. You also have quite a few options with magazines. This magazine well seems to be compatible with quite a few different types of magazines. I know I only tested Nerf and Dart Zone. That's because I don't own any of the other brands of magazines. I do own one Busby one, but I can't find that one, so that's why I left it out. But yeah, it uses all those pretty well. It also seems to use the other brands of darts, no problem. I haven't had any jams or misfires while using this blaster. So with that all being said, let's move on to some of the negatives with this blaster that I have. Now, I did kind of lie when I said this blaster hasn't had a misfire or a jam. That's only half true. When you don't have this barrel attachment on it, it runs fine. Nothing jams, nothing gets stuck or anything, right? But once you put this on, it seems to have an issue where the dart will get stuck in the barrel because I think that there's a slight gap in between the Stryfe's barrel and this barrel attachment. It's not that big of a deal because the solution is quite simple. You just tip the blaster upside down and it should just fall out the front, clearing the jam, and you can continue firing. The barrel also has an effect on accuracy. Kind of makes the darts veer left and right, making it really hard to hit targets. Now, of course, that could be just my barrel and my Stryfe. Yours might not have that problem, but that is just something to keep in mind. Moving on, let's talk about the whole grip situation here. So at the beginning of the video, when showing off the assembly of the blaster, I noticed this grip was not locking into the rail correctly. As you can see, the little tooth on the grip here is not seated properly inside of the little groove there, and this grip just easily pops off. I did try it with the retaliator grip, had the same results. Off camera, I did try a couple of accessories. One of them was the Modulus bipod, and the other was the Recon Mark III's shield. And both of them fit on here perfectly fine. Had no issue with them. Not going to give it a pass for that because it should be able to work with all Nerf branded accessories. But it is just a little weird and is something to keep in mind. But as I mentioned before, could just be my Modulus Stryfe. With that all being said, would I recommend picking up the Modulus Stryfe? So I'd recommend picking up this blaster on sale. As of recording this video, it currently retails for $33.99 USD on Amazon. By the way, I do know that I forgot to mention I picked this blaster up on Amazon in the beginning of the video, so I do apologize for that. Even though it's a pretty nice blaster with some accessories, I still think the $34 price tag is really steep. Still would recommend the blaster, but pick it up on sale. But anyway, those are just my thoughts on the Modulus Stryfe. Comment your thoughts about the blaster down below. Comment what else you want to see on the channel. Be sure to check out my Black Friday haul video where this blaster was first featured. Be sure to check out my other reviews. I'll have those both linked at the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.